Specs. It specs. Cha, cha, cha. Specs. It specs. Cha, cha. Specs.
Okay, so this is the second podcast here. The
Oh, you
original one was just
started.
a... Yeah, this is me started.
I was expecting the jingle.
Well, obviously we're not going to hear the jingle
Oh,
because
of
I'm going to
course,
edit it afterwards. Yeah, so this is my brother Joe that I'm chatting to here as well. Over the
Hi.
magic of Skype,
Yeah,
we are podcasting.
I wouldn't call it magic.
I would.
We've been
It's
struggling for about 10
Interwebby
minutes,
magic. Oh no, we had a lot of technical issues, but we finally got it working.
which I think were mainly your fault, but
I think so too.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a funny moment where we couldn't get the video. We have video on together so we can see each other. We couldn't get it working, and it kept freezing. And Joe was like, "Is it working?" And my video suddenly turned on to Joe. He could just see me thrashing my head back and forward, and he was like, "Yep, it's good."
it's on. It's
Good.
on.
Yeah. So I mean, the first episode of the podcast was Specs and Specs, but now that we have another podcast,
I don't wear glasses.
exactly, so
So
it doesn't really apply anymore.
I don't have astigmatism,
Obviously, the first podcast
which is
wasn't
weird
out.
considering that
Whoa.
our family have all got glasses. But
I know, but some of them, none of it wasn't voluntarily.
I don't know. Well, it's just weird that
Fate.
both our parents have glasses, and I was fine. I'm biologically perfect.
Yeah, but our dad was ginger.
That's true.
None of us got that.
Well,
None of us.
doesn't it skip a generation?
I think it's crafty like that. Okay, so yeah, I guess we'll have to change the name of the podcast. The original podcast was an hour, so I was thinking the Vevers Power Hour, but they're
That's
not
good.
necessarily all going to be an hour.
Yeah. Well, they will be. But how about?
We've taken 10 minutes to explain the intro. They're going to be an
I think
hour.
ultimately we know what it's going to be called. It's going to be called something along the lines of "Viva la Vevers."
Oh yeah, not
Yeah.
bad. Yeah. Yeah. Or Vivas la Revolution.
Close.
Sorry. Right, okay. Well, I guess we're going to
Vevers Express,
Vevers Express is good.
which could
Yeah.
mean two things: that we are expressing ourselves,
Yeah,
and
well,
also
considering
a
the-
train.
Considering the first podcast got 70 plus views and counting on Spotify,
But mainly
perhaps one of
me,
those
but
70 listeners can suggest a
all our
a
fans.
name. Yeah, all of our
That's
fans.
our fan competition.
After episode 1 of a minuscule podcast that it is building, it is snowballing.
Everyone
Right.
join on the Vevers Express.
Yeah, the other problem we thought we might have with this podcast with me and my brother is that our voices are really similar.
Yeah,
But
that's true. Which
Like, we
I was thinking how we could combat it, and I thought doing like a live stream, but I don't think we have enough popularity
It's kind
for
of-
a live stream yet. Because
no, not yet.
I think our voices are different enough that because basically, okay, audience, let's just basically throughout our lives we've been told that we have the same voice, me and Tom. But then when people
The
get
same voice, me and Tom.
the same, yeah, let's test it. Hi,
Okay.
my name is. Oh wait, no, this doesn't make sense. Because anyway, but
Hi, my name is... Oh, wait, no, this doesn't make sense. Anyway.
but like.
See?
but once people get to know us, I think they realize that we're different people.
Once they pick away at our hard, calloused outer shell, they suckle the honey goodness on the inside.
Yeah.
I feel people are missing out not being able to see the video feed, but
I'm not actually looking at the video feed right now.
that's fine then.
I'm looking
Okay,
at,
well,
I'm
I
looking
guess
at the
we'll-
waves form.
That's fine.
It's really
We'll split
poetic.
we'll split the podcast up into segments so I can use those amazing jingles
Oh, please
from the
do.
first episode again. Everyone loved the
I
jingles.
might get a
So
jumper.
I guess
It's really cold where I am right now.
we'll go get a jumper if you want.
I don't have a jumper.
Okay. So that's the end of that. So yeah, I've fished out some talking
I'll
points.
get a
which we
jumper
can-
in the break between segments. That's what I'll do.
Okay, so I guess the first segment.
But I just might
will
be shivering for the first for the first
Well,
segment.
how do you know when there's going to be a break in segments?
Because we'll stop talking and you'll go, "This is the part where the jingle plays."
Okay, well, let's talk about films now.
Okay, is this the film segment?
This is the part where the jingle plays.
Wait, is this
And-
wait, is this bit going to be in the podcast?
Yes, this bit is now going to be the
Oh,
podcast.
so I missed the opportunity to get a jumper.
Well, no, I'll go jingle and then we can stop.
Okay,
So-
do the jingle. I'm going to get a jumper.
jingle.
Jumper jingle.
Righty ho, that was the fantastic film jingle
Is
there.
that it?
That was that was it. Yeah, goes on for a good while, just to really signify.
Where
that
did
this
you
is
find
the
that?
YouTube. Did you know
Right.
the bit from the beginning podcast where I was talking about YouTube sound effects people?
Yeah.
Then that was where that came from.
Okay.
So yeah. Anywho, the thing. Let's just get straight into this. Right. Yesterday I watched the Avengers again. Right.
Mhm. The Avengers Assemble, as it's called.
The-
No, wait, Marvel's Avengers Assemble, as it's called in
Marvel's
the UK.
Avengers Assemble.
As to not get confused with the popular spy drama that used to be on TV, I think.
Oh yeah, the Avengers. Yeah, it's when it's got so many it's like I was about to have a slight family joke there. Probably shouldn't.
No, please.
But I was going to mention Angels Masters Games and
Okay.
how
Ooh.
Marvel
Maybe
Marvel's
cut that bit out,
Avengers-
Tom.
Marvel's Avengers Assembles is
Yeah.
also a quite tricky name. But yeah, anyway, so I watched that, and then I watched Dark Knight, and I was reading up about this new Batman versus Superman film, and there was a thing on Empire talking about how they've cast a guy, one of the DC characters, called Cyborg. So everyone's starting to speculate if they're heading towards a Justice League film,
I
a
was
DC
wondering-
Justice League film.
Did you tweet about that or Facebook status?
I did, yeah. I think
saw
tweeted
something.
about it.
I had no idea what you were talking about. I didn't know what Cyborg was.
He's just a DC character, and he's part of the Justice League. Because apparently they've also cast Wonder Woman in this new DC film. So
Wait, in the Superman Batman one?
yeah,
Oh, right. So it's not just Superman Batman.
no, this is the thing. Apparently, a lot of people are speculating now whether or not it's going to be a sort of secret Justice League film that's going to be
Alright.
sprung on everyone.
Or it's going to be like a one leading up to that.
Yeah, perhaps.
But I think
But
people,
anywho.
I think people are just so obsessed with the news about Ben Affleck that they're just forgetting any other information about the film.
I think so, yeah. But anyway, this got me thinking, right? Because I'm not sure that it would work as well as the Marvel Avengers did, because Marvel spent years and years setting up the whole Avengers thing. Like, it started in like the first Iron Man, had all that stuff in it, and DC
Yeah.
are literally going to launch straight into it. So I don't know. I can't think of the word. I'm wondering
Wonder Woman.
whether or not Wonder Woman.
That's
I'm
what we should
Wonder
call it.
Womaning. I'm Wonder Womaning.
Yeah.
Whether or not it will actually work, because they've kind of rushed into it. I'm not sure it will have the same kind of gravitas or background as the Marvel one. Thoughts? Shoot.
I don't know.
Okay, next point.
Well, because like, who's gonna be? Wait, who's in the Justice League? I don't really read comics that much, so I don't really know who's in the Justice League.
Are you Googling it?
I could do actually. Yeah. Well, can't you just tell me?
Well, I can't really remember. It's
Okay,
like
hang
Batman,
on.
Wonder Woman,
Yeah, I get the
Cyborg,
gist. Hang on.
Superman.
Who is in
Green Lantern.
the
Is he in there?
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah.
Green
See,
Lantern.
there's a bit of a controversy about the Green Lantern film because a lot of people like
Was there?
lots of controversy.
People
A
queuing in the
lot-
streets.
A lot of
What are you
controversy.
doing?
Because apparently it's one of these films that people are like, "Oh God, they ruined it." But I really liked it. I thought because that was kind of the first experience I had of the Green Lantern because I hadn't read the comics. I don't really,
And it was an experience you'll never forget.
but I thought it was really good. Like I thought it was a really cool idea for a superhero. But I don't know if I liked the idea of the superhero, but not the film. If you know what I mean, because that was the first media I'd seen the Green Lantern in. So I don't know if any other versions of it are good. If you know what I mean.
I'm not sure there really have been other versions of it. I
I assume there's been like cartoons and stuff
Well, apparently they're making a new version of the Green Lantern with The Rock.
as the Green Lantern.
Yeah,
Really?
I heard this. Yeah, I heard this.
Well-
Because apparently there's two versions of the Green Lantern in the comics. There's one that is Hal Jordan, who's
Ooh.
Ryan Reynolds.
Does that mean if they're doing a Justice League film that the Joker's going to be in it?
I guess he could be.
I
think
really
they-
sure. I think they should get
I
Mark
guess
Hamill
they
to
could
do
have,
it.
they could have a number of Justice League villains. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, like there's that DC Universe Online game which
Oh yeah.
I've played from time to time.
Have you?
And yeah,
No, because
and
sorry.
yeah, I thought you were digging in there. You're like,
Have you? No,
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
I remember before it came out, you were like raving about it. Because I got really excited for it as well, but I don't.
Before it came out.
Yeah. When it was like announced that they were making this big multi-maporg, as it's called in the game.
Oh yeah, no, it is quite good actually. It's on PS4. It's like a free game. So like I've got
Oh,
it,
right.
and my guy's a villain. He's pretty fucking slick. He's called
Yeah.
Fire Hazard. I don't. His powers are mainly fire and martial arts.
I thought you were gonna say his powers are like safety,
Wet floor, wet
protecting
floor.
people for the.
But
Health
yeah,
and
there's
safety.
apparently in the DC Universe Online game, the guy that is Green Lantern is not. He doesn't look anything like Hal Jordan. He's this big hulking black guy, and
Alright.
he's apparently in the comics. He like replaces Hal Jordan as Green Lantern, and that's apparently who they're thinking The Rock is going to play.
What, the big hulking black guy?
Yeah. Well, Green Lantern.
Well, I suppose he might be better than Ryan Reynolds.
They just really started to slack with their characterization. It was Hal Jordan and big hulking black guy. Go!
The Avengers of Huckleberry Finn.
So yeah, my that was really all I was wanting to chat about there. My speculation is whether or not it will pay off.
I'm looking forward to that film.
I think so, yeah. I think I am too.
Me and Dad, our father, were watching...
I'd love to get him in a podcast.
I so much to tell you about what his opinion of your podcast was. I won't tell you on air, but
why not?
It won't reflect well on the podcast.
Okay, that's Dad for you.
Hey, Mum's here now.
Mum's joined Joe in the room for the podcast.
I'm recording now, and he's listening to it on Skype.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Joe's just explaining the podcast technique to our mother.
Yeah.
You can never get any
What?
peace.
What am I
I'm carrying this now because Joe's just.
we're
You can
doing
hear him
podcast.
chatting in the background of the mic. But
Wait, no, the cat's in the room now. Oh God, it's all gone wrong.
it sounds like in like
Mum didn't realize we were doing the podcast, and she's like, "Ooh."
that sounded like a in like horror films when he arrives on the spaceship that's been
Wait, I think
desolate.
there's a cat in my room now.
And he just, that's what I mean. He finds like the audio log from the people that have been left behind. Oh my God, there's a cat.
He's inside. Wait, that sounded weird to me. Whole different kind of
Sci-fi.
film. What were we talking about?
At the moment, we're on
Me
sci-fi.
and Dad were watching the what's it called, Man of Steel, that you were not a big fan of.
Yep. I was not.
And Dad wasn't a big fan of it either. But I was trying to explain to him the fact that this Batman Superman film is happening. Fucking get out of my room, cat. Sorry.
It doesn't sound like an audio log anymore. He's inside the command center.
And and you know that bit when they go into space and like there's the satellite or something and it's got the Wayne Enterprise logo on it.
Yeah.
I was trying to point that out to Dad. It's like, Dad, you see that? That's going to be like the link to this new film. He's like, all right. I don't think Dad has the same enthusiasm for comics and films that we do.
So it would seem.
But yeah, I like that they've already started linking it because I think it'd be a bit,
I guess.
because otherwise it could seem like a big money making thing. I think that's kind of why the Avengers was quite successful because it sort of had a big run up to it.
They built it up and
Yeah.
it won't seem as. Yeah, that's why I was kind of worried. I was worried it might seem a bit of a cash cow, but it's not. It's a really good franchise, and if they can do it well,
Yeah,
then it'll be
is
good.
is Cash Cow one of the superheroes?
No, but it really should be.
Goes around like fixing poverty.
Like,
It's
like
the Cash
nobody-
Cow.
Nobody can figure out who Cash Cow is.
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? It's a cow.
Welcome to the Daily Planet, Mr. Brent. And he's like a cow. Like, what do they call those? Oh God, that's even better. That Batman wears a cowl. It's the cash cowl.
I was gonna buy one. Right, I've got a funny story. This is completely unrelated, but you know how I'm. No one else is gonna know what this is. But you know how I made that Man Bat thing.
Yeah.
Basically, anyone else who's listening, I made a blog post about this thing called the Man Bat. It was like a joke thing on Batman. It was really funny. But I was gonna buy a Batman cowl to make a film of it, and because
It's like the dullest film ever. It's just like 360 rotation.
no,
around
not
this
not
cowl.
not a film of the cowl, but like but because I searched leather mask. Anytime I go on eBay now, like it comes up with like all GIMP masks, and there's nothing I can do about it. It's just loads of like really leathery, like no eye holes. Like that's not quite what I was looking for. Imagine
I'd love if
that's what Cash
love
Cow
if
would
you-
wear.
I'd love if in a sort of kick-ass type scenario you decided to become a vigilante and you're like,
Yeah.
must get a leather mask. And it's like, you're like, I've got the costume. You come out in your GIMP mask with your ball gag. Shut up, crime.
Anyway,
Anywho, that was
So,
really.
yeah,
We can move on. We
that
can
film
move on.
was good.
Yeah, that's like
Is
one
there-
point of about 10 I've got here.
Yeah.
So
Is there a date for its release? Yeah,
I think they've just generally it's speculative. They're on like 2015 at the moment.
Yeah.
It's not anytime soon.
Mm.
But yeah, the other thing I saw in films this week where they're making a film of the BFG, Roald Dahl.
Well, that's been done.
Has it been done?
Yeah, there was an animated film years ago.
Oh no, but this
Used
I
to
think
be my
it's going to be like
favourite
a CGI / live action thing,
All right.
which we don't have to talk a lot about that. I was never a big fan of the BFG, but I thought for anyone who is,
this-
interesting talking point.
Yeah. No, the BFG used to be my favorite book. There was I've got like a a work jotter from school from like P2, and I just go on with like the BFG was my favorite book. It had a giant in it. I like the giant. But you know the in the first podcast we were talking about loads of sequels coming out.
Yeah.
I'd seen a video about that kind of thing, and I googled all the sequels that are coming out, and just like the list of it is crazy. Like I thought it was a joke, some of it. Like hang on, I'm on the list right now, and it's like 300 Rise of an Empire, that's a sequel. A Haunted House 2, Rio 2, Captain America the Winter Soldier, X-Men Days of Future Past, Wolf Creek 2, Godzilla, The Protector 2, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, Transformers 4, Age of Extinction, Think Like a Man 2, How to Train Your Dragon 2, 22 Jump Street, Step Up All In,
22 Jump Street 2,
The Purge Anarchy, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, Sin City, A Dame to Kill For, The
I love that, I
Expendables
love
3, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, well, that's not a sequel, but Dolphin Tale 2, why, Paranormal
I love that.
5,
That's my favorite thing about these
I'm
sequels.
not finished.
You're gonna
All
get
the Bosses
you're gonna-
2, The Hunger Games, Mockingjay, whatever, Dumb and Dumber 2, that actually looks good, Hot Tub Time Machine 2, because that deserves a sequel, and Night at the Museum 3.
all gems. My favorite thing about these sequels is like you get to things like Planet of the Apes, and there are gonna be so many sequels that by the end it's gonna be like Dawn of the Sunrise of the Planet of the Apes epoch.
Afternoon of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah. Half an hour into the dawn of the rise of the Planet of the Apes 2.3.8. It's gonna get ridiculous.
Yeah,
But there's also they're remaking one which wasn't in your list, or perhaps it was, but you said them all quite quickly.
I did.
They're remaking the Jungle Book.
Really?
And the interesting thing
A
about the
Disney
Jungle
film?
Book, the interesting thing about the Jungle Book remake is that there's two competing versions going. Warner is making one, and then hang on, I've got the article here. Warner's making one, and also whatchamacallit, Disney's making one. So Disney are making Jon Favreau, the guy that directed Iron Man, is making a live action / CGI film, and has got all these voices in to voice people. But then Warner are also making a Jungle Book thing as well. Like, I like the Jungle Book, but I'm not sure I need two films in the same year of the Jungle Book. I can only take that. So I had to say I can only take so many little boys in pants.
I can only take so much jungle.
I can only take little boys in red pants
But
so often. But then I
Are
realised
Disney
that's
not
too
also
much
doing that with Tarzan?
Are they?
Yeah.
I don't know.
If maybe you're getting confused there, but
No, it is. I'm looking at it right now.
all right. No, because I
It says
know
Disney
there's
lines
a
up
new
Scarlett
Tarzan film
Johansson
coming out.
and Lupita Nyong'o for the Jungle Book.
Who's that?
She was that one from 12 Years a Slave.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that film.
Me neither. I feel bad, but it's like it was a long time ago. It's in the past. Get over it. But I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Get
For
over
anyone
it.
out there,
Get over
who
yourself.
anyone out there who happens to be a slave, I mean you no offense.
What? Okay. I don't
Moving
think
on.
I don't think we're gonna have a very large slave audience, but
If you're watching this on your break, reading this on your break, then we are here with you, and I feel your plight. Right. Okay. I guess let's move on to
oh please.
television.
Oh, is there a jingle for this?
Yes, sweet jingle.
It's a TV.
TV's broken.
Wait, is this television?
This is television now. This is actually recording, and this is going in the podcast. So that was quite a good intro. Is this
Okay.
television? Yeah,
Is
I
this
haven't actually got that
television?
much. If you've got anything interesting to talk about for television, I don't really have that much. The only thing I saw that was
Do you mean?
well, what? No,
Sorry.
Go.
Do you mean like television that's been on
Yeah, television that's been on, future televition.
recently?
Right,
future
here's
television.
whatever. You know, whatever tickles
Well,
your
I've got
giblets.
something to bring
Okay,
up.
You start.
This, the return of Derek.
Okay, interesting choice.
Thank you. Are you a fan?
I liked the first series, but
I
I
did
haven't
not
watched the second series yet, so I don't.
Well, I wouldn't say disliked it. More that for a comedy, I didn't really laugh.
I know what you mean.
It's just I don't know if it's the kind of humor, like it's quite low key.
I just found with it that I kind of got the point he was trying to make about Derek being a nice guy, but it was like you have to balance it with a bit more comedy. I was a bit like,
yeah.
oh yeah, I get it. He's a nice guy, and some of it's quite humorous. But I didn't find I was laughing out loud. I just found it made me feel good, but I wouldn't say it was like, she's old.
Well, like the series was it series 2 that ended was the last series.
No,
the
he's
full-
only had one series. Series 2 is just started.
Oh, has
yet.
he?
Yeah.
All right. Because that ended with his dad and him reuniting, but it was almost like he was making a joke about like heartfelt
Yeah, I know what you mean,
because
actually,
it ended
yeah.
with like Coldplay's "Fix You" while he was running down
Yeah.
the street, and I was like, this seems like he's taking the piss.
I wasn't
And
really sure.
I have a theory that Ricky Gervais is kind of like, he's kind of taking everyone for a ride. Like, he's getting everyone to think this is like a really, really good show, but he's actually just like putting stuff together that's like really cliche.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And like, it's not a bad show. Like, it's really well written, but it's just not. It's not.
I think it's hard
If you
to
looked at
hard
that
to not
and-
compare it to The Office and extras and stuff.
Yeah. If you looked at that and extras in The Office, like, it doesn't seem like something he would
Yeah.
do.
It's a bit. I don't know. It just seems quite tame. I think is the thing,
Yeah.
and it's not. I have no problem with elderly or disabled, but I just don't think they make for great comedy.
I think the funny. I think.
Oh Christ!
Hang on, I'm just gonna Google his name because I can't
Derek.
remember his name. But the guy who plays that doesn't help. That's not.
Which guy?
I just googled Derek. I just googled Derek cast and it came up with Ricky Gervais. Like, that's the only one.
Which guy?
The guy who plays Kev.
Oh, I can't remember his name. I thought you meant Carl Pilkington.
Yeah, but no, the guy who plays Kev, I think his name is. He's like, I find him the funniest, just the way he delivers his lines. Oh, David Earl is his name, I think.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's good.
but I find the way he delivers his lines like the funniest
But
bit.
that's
of
what kind of made me think what you mentioned. Like,
and Carl Pilkington as well. Like, I think Carl Pilkington is.
it almost
really
seems
good in
sometimes
it,
like they've
which is
just
weird.
put Kev in because they were like, oh, we need something to
Kevin.
laugh at. We need like a funny
Mm.
bit. Let's put Kev in. I don't know.
Mm.
Perhaps I haven't actually watched it
Kevin,
yet, but I will do.
What? Okay.
No, I mean I haven't watched. I watched the first season, but I haven't watched the second series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What other
Oh,
television?
this is
on.
This is probably just me being cynical rather than actually being an interesting news story. But where is it? This one. Actually, no. Maybe I'll just have to tell you about it. Yeah, basically, you know, there's a woman who used to be a BBC presenter, Susanna Reid, and she's now
I recognize the name, but I don't think I
she's
know
now
her face.
presenting on ITV, and they're doing it in a sort of, I guess you'd call it like an American morning chat show style, and it's called Good Morning Britain. So. My main thing really was just like on the like my strange mental images that are conjured up by these kind of things. I was just thinking like the British people don't really seem like, especially in the morning of all times, to be in the kind of mood to have a kind of Good Morning Britain chat show. This morning we're talking to
Morning Britain.
those traffic jams on the fucking M8 again. Just like, you know what I mean? It just seems like we're never really in the mood in the morning. Like, because my memories of watching morning news and morning TV are like school, like going to school, and I'd wake up like one eye open, eating Cheerios, like. Yeah, I was always eating my sugar cubes, and but yeah, no, I just find that
Come along, Clip Clop.
I named the horse Clip Clop.
I don't know. That's the noise they make.
As a sound it makes. Yeah, I just feel like
What were you quoting there,
that
by the way?
classic Al Pacino Robert De Niro spoof.
Oh,
You haven't seen it, just
you said it to me yesterday on Facebook, and I was like, I know that
Yeah,
from somewhere.
Just YouTube it on YouTube. Al Pacino Robert De Niro spoof.
No, I know what you mean.
Pretty funny.
YouTube it on YouTube.
But yeah, Good Morning Britain. I'm just not sure will go down well with British audiences. I get like people are gonna watch it anyway, and like this morning I always said that.
I believe that was GMTV.
Yeah, but that was this morning on GMTV.
No, this morning is a separate show on BBC One.
No, it wasn't. It was on GMTV. I'm sure it was
Isn't it?
Philip Schofield and
No,
Holly Willoughby.
Yeah, that's BBC.
That's
BBC.
ITV.
Hang on.
That's
Let me
ITV.
Google.
I'm telling you.
This morning.
I'm telling you,
I'm-
it's ITV.
Hang on. Oh,
Told
it
you.
is.
Anywho, but yeah,
That's weird.
like that tune
Oh.
used to annoy the crap out of me in the morning, and I just
No, that was my jam. That was my jam of growing up.
not sure.
It's one of
that-
those shows I never watched, but I remember the
Yeah.
theme tune. Like Emmerdale.
It's really drop on Coronation Street.
Maybe. No, Cornish Street is. Wait, that's the same tune.
My God, that's plagiarism.
Oh, Emmerdale's is.
Yeah, and then you get the big sort of techno beast that is EastEnders. That was EastEnders for you. EastEnders, big up to the East End massive.
Listeners, if you haven't listened to it, YouTube the EastEnders theme tune slowed down 800%. Like, it sounds ridiculous, but it's one of the nicest pieces of music you've ever heard. It's so like, it's like the world is ending, but in a nice way.
It's like you're floating
it's
away from space, from Earth.
Yeah, yeah, like
Yeah,
gravity.
exactly. But yeah, anyway, good morning, Britain. Not sure it'll work out. That was my point there.
Well, it
I
knows
know.
what they do. Is it? Wait, is it a what channel?
I assume ITV. Yeah, ITV. It's going to be a kind of American panel chat show like they do with sort of Good Morning America.
Yeah.
Anywho,
Okay.
let's move on to music. Right, so that was the music jingle, another fantastic jingle for myself. I really hope the jingles become a staple of the podcast because they're just magnificent. Anywho, we were just talking about how we don't really have a lot to talk about for music, and I was saying the pieces I found on music this week that annoyed me, because me and Joe are so similar, there's only a year between us, they'll annoy him too.
Is everything you found like music news?
Yes.
Because
that's kind of my point, really. This is my thing with music news these days. Like, in the previous podcast, I was talking about NME, and they only report on like bus stops, and I looked at a couple other websites, even the Guardian, only really reports on stuff people have done rather than like new music. For example, this is a headline on the NME website: Damon Albarn, lead singer of Blur, sings Parklife in London pub. It's like, that's a headline. That's news for the music world. It's like, oh, David Albarn sang a song he wrote.
sang a song.
Yeah, he sang his song he wrote, and he's a singer in a pub where he lives. You're like, well, I don't understand. How is that news? Anyway, that was really all I'm touching on with music there. The second story I found was...
Is that literally all you've got off the music
No,
category?
I have another story. This is the one that
Okay.
will really grind your gears, right?
Okay.
In an ongoing slew of being a total twat, you can probably see where I'm going with this.
Wait, Justin Bieber?
Yep, Justin Bieber. So the headline here on The Guardian: Justin Bieber causes double offence to South Korea over war shrine visit. Basically what's happened is Justin Bieber has
Has he started World War III?
I wish, because he'd be the first to go. No, he's basically visited the Yasukuni war shrine, which if you don't know what it is, it's like a war shrine to people who died in the war, but it's also got the names in it of several war criminals.
Is this something along the lines of similar to? I think Anne Frank would have been a believer.
Yeah, so it's kind of similar. He seems to be dabbling a lot in the Second World War. Anywho, well, this was erected in 1869, so it was much before that. But anyway, here's the bit about it in The Guardian. It says, Yasukuni has become one of Japan's most provocative symbols, a shrine to the country's war dead. It also honors hundreds of convicted war criminals who participated in atrocities against Chinese and Korean civilians. So basically, Justin Bieber visited this. in his statement about it, he said, it just makes him sound like even dumber than I believe he is. It says... The 20-year-old tried to explain himself on Wednesday. While in Japan, I asked my driver to pull over, for which I saw a beautiful shrine. Not only does that grammatically not make sense, but it's just the image of him like, I thought it was a beautiful shrine. Turns out it was a war criminal hub. But it said, I was misled to think this is the other weird thing, right? I was misled to think the shrines were only a place of prayer. To anyone I have offended, I'm extremely sorry. I love you, China, and I love you, Japan. It's like, that was a statement. But it's like, if you thought it was a place of prayer, that still begs the question, why were you going there? Like, I'm just going to go and say goodbye to all my Chinese war relatives who died. I thought I saw a beautiful shrine. I did. Yeah, exactly. So he's just, he's offended a lot of Chinese people and Korean people. But the main controversy was that in his apology, the Koreans were not, because he forgot to mention them. He said, I'm sorry, China. I'm sorry, Japan. And then he stayed quiet.
And left.
Then he left, and the Korean was just like, what? What about us?
I thought you were going to do a Korean accent there. That's really weird.
No, I better not. I was about to there when you said that, but then I thought, he's just condemning my possible Korean accent. I better not do a Korean accent. But anyway, that was music.
Well, I mean, Justin Bieber, you know my thoughts on Justin Bieber.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna.
I thought
you were gonna address him directly, like Justin Bieber. You know
Justin
what I'm gonna
Bieber,
say.
If you're listening, which I know you are, you cheeky devil, he is kind of the same as Miley Cyrus. Like, they kind of get paid to be assholes.
Yeah.
Like, because like,
Well, it's like that story of Miley Cyrus twerking in Auschwitz, wasn't it?
what?
Nah, it never happened. I'm just, I was just trying to find common ground.
I thought it was a rave. But like,
I thought it was a beautiful concentration camp.
and
It smells like history. I'm sorry.
what was I saying?
Justin Bieber.
Yeah, like they sort of like Miley Cyrus's last video, the Wrecking Ball video, or she's probably done one since then.
Yeah.
But that, like, think how many views that got, and then she gets paid for every view she gets. So it's like, and more people are going to view it if they hear it in the news, like Miley Cyrus released a new video where she's naked riding a child, and like
Yeah,
People are gonna
to be fair, that was the reason I watched it. I was kind of like, oh yeah, interesting.
Game on, Miley. But like,
Take a swig on my balls.
people are gonna like go on to YouTube to look at it, but I mean, it's gonna sound really really pretentious because I've made a point to myself to not go looking for it because even if you're going on to just to write a bad comment about it, to say like this is ridiculous,
You're
which
feeling
it is.
feeling the flames.
Yeah, you're giving her more money to go out and
Buy other
be all
pendulum-like
provocative.
objects for her to swing
Yeah,
on.
to buy more moving things.
To buy more construction equipment that she can get naked on. Next is going to be her like twerking
On
in
a digger.
just with her arse in a cement mixer going round and round. As I don't know, I can't think of the name of the song. Anywho.
Wrecking ball, that's what it's called.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Digger. Gold digger.
Oh, good times. Anyway,
JCB.
let's move on from music because it just makes me.
Was
fed
that
up.
music?
That was music. That's all I
Wasn't
had. It
close.
just depresses me
Well-
too much. Music news.
What's your favorite song right now?
My favorite song right now. To be honest, I'm actually really liking the new Coldplay stuff. I know that's kind of like a bit kind of.
Well, it's such a shame now since he broke up with Iron Man's wife.
Exactly, yeah. Why Iron Man had not done something about that?
I know.
He's just a pushover. But you know how I really feel bad for, in every possible sense, their child, Apple. Because well, not only is they going through it, her parents are getting split up. Her parents are getting split up like someone's forced them apart. Her parents are being. How do you say it? Her parents are divorcing,
Getting divorced.
and she then has to realize that her name is Apple. She's now old enough that she's going to be writing that down every day in school. And
Wait,
like
what?
on the front of her jar, like write your name at the top left.
Is she
Apple.
Is she Apple Martin?
She is.
That's a
I
weird
think
name.
So. Or she's
That
maybe
sounds like a brand.
Wait.
Like, get us a couple of Apple Martins, would you?
Apple Martin. No, it's coming up with Apple Martini when I Google it. Chris Martin.
Apple
child.
Teeny.
Let's see. Yeah, Apple Martin, and he's also got a son called Moses.
Moses Martin.
Moses Martin. Sounds like a 50s journalist. Moses Martin here. I'm gonna blow this story wide open.
You know what I've been listening to basically all week.
No.
You'll like this.
How could,
It's,
how could I possibly know?
Tom Vevers 7 Days.
Oh yeah, that's.
I don't know why. But
Well, it's 'cause
I don't know.
It's a ruddy good tune.
It's a really good tune. I was at work on Tuesday, and it just started. It came into my head. I was like, 7 days. Here's all I need.
That's not what
And,
my singing voice sounds like. Yeah, I can't believe
It
I
is
haven't,
quite. And
I
we
haven't
have the same
mentioned this
voice, so.
in the podcast
Oh,
before.
plug.
I know, plug. I'm a singer-songwriter and I write my own material. And Joe is talking about my song 7 Days.
I wasn't doing that as a plug. It is genuinely a really good song. But other than that,
It
what
is
I've
a
been listening to, what I've been listening to is a combination of Doctor Who Series 4 soundtrack and Frozen.
Interesting.
It's a weird combination.
Interesting.
Let it go.
Have you seen that video that was doing the runs on Facebook of the little boy singing "Let It Go"?
No.
You should try and find it and watch it. It's this little. He looks kind of Samoan, wee chubby boy singing "Let It Go," and he gets to the big note.
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah, I
he
know.
sneezes
I know
and
what you're talking about.
and like a snot rocket comes out.
Yeah. No, I didn't watch it because I knew there was going to be snot involved, and like that's
Did
one
you?
of
My snot
it's-
senses are
No,
tingling.
because it said in the title, it was like, warning, snot. And that's
really,
like
when
one
I
of
saw
my
it, it
least
just said-
favorite things
It
in
just
the
said
world.
"Boy tackles Let It Go" by Frozen. I was like, oh yeah, I'll give him a watch in case he's good. But I'm never watching anything he does ever again.
Well, so he doesn't do that in every video. It's not. It's like
It's like his
that's how he
fifth,
ends it.
it's like 5th birthday. It's like blow the candles on your cake. Ah.
I got slimed.
Anywho, let's move on from music now.
Yeah.
I feel we've covered that. We're already at like a good 34 minutes in the podcast, so
And it really was a good 34 minutes.
Still got games and news to talk about, and I've got some good news and game stories.
Okay.
Anywho, all right.
Games.
Next up, video games.
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 All right, so that was the games jingle there. I really
Games.
have to make nice laugh. I really, what cements a good podcast in podcast history is the good laughs of its members.
That's not a good laugh.
And it was funny because
I don't-
that was like you never
Do you think
laugh
there's
like
anyone-
that. That was just you
do you-
genuinely laughing at yourself.
Do you think there's anyone who likes their laugh?
I don't know.
Like every time I laugh in real life, I'm always like, oh god, and like I don't.
Well, see,
I can't think of
mine's is
anyone-
okay because mine's is silent. That's why I'm glad I'm a silent laugher. Because I'm like, if something's really funny, I'll be like, yeah.
Well, I think, the only time I ever properly laugh hysterically is probably you. I think you're the only person that sort of make me laugh. Like the famous Dan story.
I guess we can explain that when Dan's in the podcast.
Yeah.
And just see if
That's
it,
probably the hardest I've ever laughed in my whole life.
Yeah. So-
and it wasn't even that funny.
don't explain it too much because we can use it as an incentive for
Yeah.
people to listen to the next podcast.
Yeah, that'll be a spoiler campaign.
Exactly.
Um,
Right, so
teaser
we're on to
campaign.
games now. So first thing I saw, this is not, we're not going to need to talk about this for a very long time, but that was quite cool. You know the company Obsidian that made the South Park game?
No.
Stick of Truth.
I know the game. Yeah,
they
but-
a company called Obsidian make it. They make RPGs and stuff. And apparently they're working on a game called Blackwater or Black something, and it's basically they're billing it as a sci-fi version of Skyrim.
we both burned
I
at
know.
the same time.
Sci-fi version of Skyrim.
So you got really emotional.
Yeah, a sci-fi
Well-
version of Skyrim, which I think
What,
is
with,
not
like,
only
aliens?
lazy marketing, but also doesn't really entice me that much.
I know. Skyrim's already pretty
Good
out there.
I know. Anywho, moving on. The other thing I saw in games news, which I'll try and get on the article, they're building the world's very first gaming stadium,
What?
like an arena, a gaming arena. It's 15,000 seats, and it's
Yeah,
the
but what is it?
Major League Gaming arena in
What do you do? I don't.
Macau. Well, do you never watch like professional gaming? People, it's a big thing these days. People play
Oh right.
StarCraft.
So you just go to the arena and watch someone play a game.
Yeah, in like the Major League Gaming tournaments and stuff.
That sounds fucking awful.
Granted, it's not everyone's cup of tea. But I think it goes to show
Well,
that gaming is becoming a bit of a thing now. I never quite realized it until I saw this article.
I know stuff like that was quite present in Japan. Like people go to watch people
the
play.
arena is being built in Macau.
Is that in Japan?
It's in Asia.
Okay. But like people go to watch people play World of Warcraft. Like it's like
Yeah.
the Wimbledon final or something.
Yeah. Especially
crazy.
if you watch any of the South Korean StarCraft tournaments, they're genuinely like rock stars over there. It's crazy. They're
Yeah.
like huge. They win
Well, I
like
mean-
$1 million tournaments and stuff, and they make an absolute shit ton.
I suppose it is no more crazy than watching someone play football. Because you're not actually doing anything. But you're not actually doing anything, are you?
I guess, yeah.
Like,
you're kind of just
my,
going to
my,
watch
my
someone
thought
do what
process
they're
is
good
like,
at.
why? Yeah, like my thought process is like, why would you go watch someone play a game when you can just do it yourself? But I suppose it's the same as saying about football.
Yeah, I guess.
anything
I
other
guess
than
you go
that.
and watch people who are really good at what they do. It's the same as like musicians, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, I just imagine like
You're going to
the
watch
arena.
any professional. If it interests you, you're going to go watch it, I guess. So.
Yeah, I just imagine the arena and the guy in the middle, like the guy from South Park from the from the World of Warcraft episode, like double chin. Mom, more hot pockets.
Hot pockets. Yeah. Good analogy. Good analogy.
The thing is with like games and stuff, because I'm not really up to date on the game world. I feel like quite a gaming dinosaur, if you will. Even I've
game-nosaur.
because I bought a PS3, but I still feel like that's almost old fashioned now, because it's like people are going to stop making games for the PS3, and it's all about this next gen stuff. I'm still stuck playing The Last of Us. Well, I'm not complaining. The Last of Us is the best game of all time.
They're about to release it for PS4.
You what?
They're about to release it for PS4.
Yeah.
Summer
Well,
version.
they're about to make a movie of it as well.
I might get it. Yeah, that's actually one of my talking points.
You were talking about that last podcast, weren't you?
What, the Last of Us movie?
Yeah.
No?
You mentioned it, I think.
I mentioned it briefly, yeah.
Yeah. But like,
It's one of my talking points, so let's go on that.
yeah, because people were saying that the Last of Us movie, as a movie, like the story itself, isn't that much different to any other zombie film.
Yeah,
I think like,
well, it's all in the characters.
yeah, I suppose, but
I guess you could say the same about The Road. It's just two characters, but it's the
I've never
relationship.
seen The Road.
Oh, watch The Road. It's really depressing, but it's good.
Yeah. Every time someone says watch The Road, like, oh, watch The Road, you'll feel really shit.
Yeah.
Great.
No, it's an awesome film. But yeah, I think The Last of Us, the story is good, and it is different. You've obviously got like
Yeah.
the fireflies and all that.
But you just worry how they'll market it,
Yeah, I know.
because like
If they market it like they did like World War Z
another
or
zombie
something,
film.
like because
Yeah.
the thing about the book of World War Z is very like personal, and it's just people talking to various people, and like stuff goes on
Yeah.
like that. And the film they marketed it like zombie piles outside Israel, and it was just like that was what they focused on when you really should have focused on. I guess it wasn't because it wasn't they weren't directly adapting the book, so it wasn't going to be the same anyway.
Yeah.
But I guess for fans of the book, that was what they were looking for, and I guess they did not get that. But yeah, with the
Is
Last
there
of
any
Us, I
more?
feel-
Is there any more hints or rumors to like the casting of it?
No, I'm still gunning for my favorite. I think Joel should be Josh Brolin.
I think he should just be Troy Baker.
I don't think he's old enough.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
for
makeup.
Ellie, I'm not sure.
There was a.
I don't know.
There was a someone was mentioning. Hang on, it was Ashley Johnson on her Twitter, the girl who played Ellie in
Last of
the
Us.
game itself.
Yeah.
She tweeted someone. Hang on, let me just search. She tweeted someone saying, "This is how I would get to play Ellie." I can't remember her name.
All right. I can't really thought about Ellie that much. Joel, I'm pretty clear cut. It should be Josh Brolin. I think he'd be really good.
Yeah.
But with Ellie, I'm not really sure. Maybe someone like Abigail
Maybe-
Breslin.
Or Chloe Moretz.
I
that'd
don't
be
know.
amazing.
She always reminds me a bit of Hey Arnold.
Why?
Just her head.
I think we're thinking of different people.
No, we're not. You're thinking of Hit Girl from Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
Her head shape, it
Hey
just
Ar-
reminds me a bit of Hey Arnold.
Hang on.
Not that that means
Yeah.
she can't play a movie role, but I just always, I can't look at her and not
Maisie
picture-
Williams was her name.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's the one from
Do you know who that is?
Game of Thrones, isn't it? She plays Arya
I
in
think
Game
so,
of
yeah.
Thrones.
Yeah. Which is another show I don't watch.
Yeah. I talked about that last podcast. Let's not.
Yeah.
Let's not.
I know
get
you
into
kept
it.
mentioning shows. You kept mentioning shows that I don't watch.
I know we will. This is the last point for gaming, which it's a really funny story. Well, it's not. It's kind of horrific, but it's kind of still.
Oh wait! Before we end gaming, before you bring up this, can we just talk about what you talked about last podcast, the Oculus Rift Facebook
Yeah, go.
buying, and how ridiculous it is, and you were really like positive about it.
I don't think
How can you be positive about it?
I don't think it's.
But I just like.
I don't have people come on here to mock my previous podcast. No,
I
I
will
can see.
kick you
I
off
can
right
see.
now.
I can see what you mean. I don't know. I just think that there's so much more to the VR thing than just gaming. That I don't see how you could be like negative about it. I think there's so much potential that I think someone like Facebook, who are giving so much financial backing, Facebook aren't like running the company now.
Oh wait, my battery's about to go. Hang on.
It's still the original guys running it. They're all the original owners of Oculus Rift stuff. Okay, Joe's having some technical issues.
Back in a minute.
But anywho, yeah, Joe's basically saying that the Oculus Rift will not be popular with Facebook. I think it will. And obviously, now that he's changing his laptop to put it on battery power, I now have time to totally shred apart his argument, and he can say nothing about it. But yeah, I just think, I don't know. I think there's so much potential in it that I don't see how you couldn't want Facebook given some financial backing to it. It just doesn't really make sense.
Cool.
Right? Yeah. So basically, Joe is back from his technical issues now. So
Yeah, my laptop ran out of battery, and I was trying to grab my charger in time, but
I guess
didn't happen.
This is the issues of
it was
doing
really dramatic.
doing over Skype.
And I think my laptop's overheating, and everything's just.
Oh, it's all just going to shit.
It'll be fine.
Anyway,
I'll pull through.
Joe's not getting to say
Anyway,
his
yeah.
points about the
Oculus
now.
Rift is good, but Facebook is bad.
I don't know.
Well,
I guess we'll
when-
see where it goes. It'll be interesting to see what they do with it.
I don't know if it's just the sort of mentality of like a big company buying something smaller that seems really like unappealing. Like when the Oculus Rift was announced, I was really excited because it looked really, really cool. Like nothing I'd seen before. I mean, it's been virtual reality stuff, but then when it was announced like Facebook are buying it, you're kind of like, well, there goes the fun. I don't know why, but just like
I know what you
it
mean.
just sort of
Yeah.
seems
People
it's the
tucking
same as
into
like
indie stuff.
Disney. Like Disney sort of buy everything now. Like Disney just bought Maker Studio, which is a big company in YouTube that make YouTube videos, and it's sort of just like, I mean, it's good, but like a part of you sort of thinks there's nothing really independent anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I mean, any company has to get financial backing from somewhere, and I guess there's nowhere better than Facebook because like the biggest company. In
Yeah,
the
but did
world,
Oculus Rift need it?
They
They had enough backing from.
Obviously, they thought they did. Otherwise, they would have taken it.
Well,
What are you gonna say to that?
well, I don't know. I don't know if they thought they needed it because like
Yeah, I know
they
what
didn't
you mean.
really need it. Like they had enough popularity and enough money to make it happen.
I guess they're just trying to boost everything. They're trying to kickstart everything into getting consumer versions out quicker than they could. And they got like $2 million. Obviously, you'd rather have that than not have it. And it's not like Facebook have taken over the company. All the original employees are still there working on stuff. Just means that there's going to be wider potential uses for it than just games, which I think there should be. There's nothing wrong with that, I don't think.
Well,
Anywho, let's move on to my last story.
yeah.
This is a real humdinger. This one, basically,
Is this game themed?
this is game themed. This is the last piece of game news.
Okay.
Basically, I'll try and set the scene. So you're playing Call of Duty, as you do. You're just playing. You're just
Not
playing.
me.
Yeah, no, not you. Perhaps someone, our persona, our example person, is playing Call of Duty, and you're playing against someone and you beat them, and they're not very happy about this. So they perhaps send you a message or two, and then before you know it, somebody has falsely called 60 armed SWAT officers to your house. And this is basically the story I'm on about. A Call of Duty player, enraged that he'd been beaten at Call of Duty, found out the name and location of this player he was playing with, and called. He basically phoned the caller, who's yet to be identified, had been playing against this guy. Called him and informed local authorities that that this guy he was playing with, whose name was second name was Castillo. What's his name? Rafael Castillo of New York. Apparently, he phoned SWAT. He phoned the SWAT to tell him that this player had shot his mother and brother, and was planning to kill more people. So they sent 60 armed officers to his house, wandered in, and he's I just can't imagine it, just like wandering in, he's sitting there in his boxers, like playing Call of Duty.
This is why I don't like the Call of Duty community.
I know what you mean. They're very strange. You get a lot of like, just fuckers in that group, and they're just like, I don't know, like 12. And I have no problem with 12-year-olds, but for starters,
I was one once.
Yeah, exactly. I was 12 when I was their age, but like they're not. For starters, not supposed to be playing those games legally. Which I think that's the reason why people are like. Oh,
we're not really wanting to talk about age restrictions. Tom.
I know, but I'm the correct.
There's home video of us talking about our favorite South Park episodes when we're like 4.
But I'm the correct age now, and it's just like Call of Duty wasn't around then, and people are like, oh, it's an 18 because of the violence. I think it's an 18 because their minds aren't fully developed socially to deal with online gaming.
Yeah.
And that is the game section. Thanks for your contribution, Joe.
Games!
Moving on.
News and weather. News and weather. News and weather. News and weather. Live news.
Right, that was a news and weather jingle. I'm definitely sure that's my favorite jingle.
Maybe the. I just don't think anything's going to beat the intro.
Perhaps, yeah, but obviously it's not. But obviously that's not going to be the intro anymore because we're changing the name of the show.
What, you're going to make a whole new intro before this is uploaded?
You're making it sound like it was a big deal. I did that intro in about 2 minutes.
You're going to go through all the...
all of that, getting the whole string band together to
we're
play
getting
in
the
your
band
living room
back
again.
together.
Yeah, but anywho, news and weather. I just want to get straight into this because some of these stories are great.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Soho. Right, first one, story number 1. If it would load. This is quite a cool story. This is what it tickled my sci-fi giblets.
Mm-hmm.
They always just call them researchers. They never specify who it was. Basically, using stem cells, they've managed to grow human skin.
Why?
Because, well, for example, the uses why? The uses they're giving here are that you can use it to replace animals in drug and cosmetic testing. They can use it on like samples of skin. It's just weird. I can't imagine being like that. I have this weird mental image of like them dialing stuff into a computer. It's just like printing. It's just like
a face
coming out like pasta sheets. Just like I don't know. Yeah, but it's just obviously they're not just like there's not a guy just like winding a skin thing and it's just bringing out skin.
Well, yeah. Then how is it done then?
Well, they've done it using stem cells.
Bake it at 200 degrees.
They say stem cells have been turned into skin before, classic. But the researchers say this is more like real skin as it has a permeable layer.
This feels right.
I know. It's just I don't know. It's strange. It's just weird. I guess this must be what all science discoveries are ever like. Like when they figured out the world was round, they were like,
it's just weird.
It's weird. Yeah, it's not like that. But yeah, I guess it's kind of cool. They said it could also help the study of skin conditions such as eczema.
Good.
Well, or like flaky skin.
At least they're keeping busy.
It's cool. I know. It just means they don't have to kill rabbits and pigs and stuff anymore, which the hippies will be happy about.
Well, they didn't kill them. They just gave them a bit of a makeover.
They were just powdered within an inch of their life.
But
no,
beautiful.
Obviously, we're not for a second saying animal testing is good. It is bad, but you can't laugh.
Bad with a butt.
You can't not laugh at a pig in lipstick. Big slapper
animal
pig.
testing is bad.
Animal testing is
because
bad.
they're bad at tests.
Second news story that just made me go was slightly closer to home, which perhaps I should be worried about. In Maryhill in Glasgow, this is the headline, which I guess the headline is what sparked my interest more when I actually read the report. Man held over alleged vapor attack in Maryhill. So
Vapor?
The initial. That's what I thought. Either it sounds like he's attacked people with vapor, or he's just lashed out of the air. He's just like. I couldn't quite figure out what it meant here, but then when I read it out, 8 people were allegedly sprayed with vapor from a CS. I don't know what CS is. CS gas type canister outside a McDonald's on Maryhill Road. So I don't know what that means, but a man apparently attacked people with gas, an unspecified gas, which sounds like a typical night for me after a curry. But I know, classic joke there. But yeah, no. Anyway,
Put a sound.
I really haven't got
a sound effect in there of a didn't.
Yeah, I could do. I really don't have anything to say about the story. I just thought it was quite weird.
It's weird.
Like if you're gonna attack anyone,
Especially in Glasgow. With
I
all
know.
the weapons.
Where's he getting a hang of this? Like
I think
hold of this. Like
Glasgow's a lot more like Gotham City in my mind than it is in real life.
I don't know why just comes at the McDonald's. Everyone just comes at the McDonald's with a Joker-like grin. No, it's the smiley gas. I'm sure that wasn't the exact name of it, but I can't remember the name of it from the film. But yeah, it just seems like an odd weapon to choose to attack people with, a gas canister. Like even if you were going to use that, you're not going to gas yourself. You just hit people with the canister.
Well,
I really shouldn't be planning this like I'm going to do
as
it.
long as you're in a gas mask, I assume.
If I was gonna gas a McDonald's,
Why McDonald's?
I
of all
wouldn't
places?
use unspecified vapor. Exactly. Anywho, final news story. This is not funny, but what she said about the story and the kind of connotations I have with the story is what made me laugh. So the headline is Stag Gore Victim Kate Stone able to eat after 4 months. So a woman there was a stag in her garden and her friends irritated the stag and it ran at her and gored her throat.
I thought you meant like a stag party.
That's what I thought initially when I read it, like stag gore, like a really bloody groom.
There's a stag party in my
basically,
garden.
The best thing about this story is Kate Stone, 44 from Cambridge, who she was left with life-threatening injuries after being gored by a stag, which entered her garden. Which not only does that not happen every day, but then she went, "I'm gonna piss it off," and it gored her. I love the term gored. But yeah, she's even managed to find a pun in all of this, a bright side to this story. The sentence from her says, "This staggering journey is now almost over, and I've finally eaten beans." That was all she had to. They were like, "So Kate, could you give us a what's it been like? You know, this horrible ordeal." And she's like, "I've craved beans for weeks, and now I can finally eat my beans." I have this image of her just like feeding beans directly into her throat through the hole the stag has made, and now she's gone back to meet the stag in the wood. The stag's been like, "See, I did it for you, Kate. I did it for you." And he's ran off into the woods.
What's your stag voice?
That was like a
For you. I did it for you.
Cookie crisp.
Now you can eat your beans. But yeah, anywho, good for you, Kate. I'm glad you can eat beans again.
And that's the news.
Yeah.
Well, here's some other.
I now can't do it. I can't do anything not in a stag voice.
Well,
this is the other weird thing. There's a few sentences from her. They basically interviewed her in this story to find out what it's been like with this horrible injury, and she's come up with the weirdest analogy for eating food. She said, blah, 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 "I was put on soft food last week, and now I'm eating what I want and lots of it." Sassy. And then she's also said, "Swallowing is still really hard sometimes, but it's like riding a bicycle." It's like, what? I don't understand. I sit on the food and it goes up my ass. What do you mean? Sometimes, swallowing, it's like riding a bicycle. You're a bit wobbly at first, but it's all coming back to me. What do you mean? What do you mean? Elaborate on that. Don't leave it there, Kate. How are beans like, I feel like I've climbed a massive mountain. She's not saying anything of worth. It's just like random hyperbolic statements about how it is to eat beans. The last sentence is, "Well, I never gave up, and I'm at the summit. There's still much of a journey home, but it's an easy walk downhill. With my beans."
On my bean
like-
bike.
Yeah, I don't understand. Here, I'll send you the link
do.
over Skype just now, and have a look at this woman. Her face is maniacal enough.
How do I get links on Skype? Oh, here we
Look
are.
at the text
Oh, it just
chat.
popped up in a bubble. That's nice.
She's got like a crazy face, but it's just, I don't know. It's
Oh my
it's
God.
good for her. It's good for her, and I'm glad that she can eat again. But she's just, I don't know. She's just picked these really crazy sentences to describe it. That's swallowing. It's still like reading. It's still like riding a bicycle. How? How in any way?
That's the
Oh,
weirdest
God.
face I've ever seen.
It's a strange face.
It reminds me of something.
Oh, great! Look at the related stories at the bottom of that article. Stag gore victims, solid food hope. Headlines just don't make sense these days. I don't understand.
That's the
13th of March.
got a very striking face.
Yeah. Oh, Joe.
Yes.
Go down to the related articles and click the one about her solid food hope and look at the picture. It's her dreaming of
Solid
being able
food
to eat
hope.
baked beans again. Look at how she's looking at those beans.
Wait,
She's just like staring intently at
number
this tin
7?
of beans. No, at the bottom of that article, related
Oh, I
articles.
see.
It's the first one. Yeah.
Related
Look at the picture at the top of the
articles.
page. She's so intently staring at her can of beans. That's actually quite nice then, I guess. She's found a resolution to her bean story. Reported on 13th of March.
Her beans.
Stag or victim faces third throat operation to cure her
why
stag
have they
problem.
put Dr. Stone, quote unquote, dreams of being able to bake?
Like those are someone else's hands in the picture, and she's like grasping at it. I can't get the beans.
Dreams.
Every night in my dreams, I'm running after a tin that I can't get.
It's rolling
But
downhill.
yeah. I mean, my main thought about this whole story is, if a stag's running at you,
Doesn't make a sound.
yeah, exactly. It probably goes. But if a stag is running at you, can you just dodge?
Well,
They
it
just
depends where you
move.
are.
I know,
Stags are big animals. They have big pointy things on their head.
I know, but then it's kind of like woe is you for irritating it in the first place.
Well, what did she do?
I don't know if that's the correct term of woe
What-
is you.
What? Oh, woe is me. I've been gored by a stag.
I've been gored
Wait,
again.
what did she actually do though to make it
I won't eat
to
beans
aggravate
for
the
a month.
stag? To
Let me
staggravate it,
see.
if you will.
It just says Dr. Stone was on holiday with friends when their group startled a stag that wandered into a garden at
Knock first.
Lochhailort. In its panic, the stag charged and hit Dr. Stone, leaving her throat
I
impaled.
don't think
by
that's the
one of
thing
its
stags
antlers.
do when they're panicked. Is it?
Well, apparently so.
I think I would have thought it would just have just run, or maybe it was just feeling ballsy.
Well, it said that it wandered into a garden, so if
Oh,
we're assuming
right.
this is like a fenced garden.
Oh right.
Then it's not. That's probably why he's panicked.
Well,
He's like,
fair enough
"Fuck,
then."
Nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. Run out the wind with the big throat.
Rain Man.
I count 4 victims. Yeah. Anywho.
Well,
Good-
while we're on
good-
the
good
subject
luck
of
to you.
news, have they found Malaysia Airlines yet?
No, I have no idea what's happening
Okay.
with that. My theory about the Malaysian Airlines flight is that I don't know.
That's a
I don't
good
really
theory.
have I know.
I don't know.
Just when in the last podcast, I spoke about the South Korean ferry thing, and
Yeah.
maybe Asia's just generally trying to get rid of all its methods of transport. Maybe they're just gradually shutting their continent. So they're
They're going to
they're
attack the subway system next.
They're fucking all the boats, and they're just losing all the planes. How do you lose a plane? I don't understand.
Well, it's a big place, the world, as we.
I know, but I
And
know.
a plane's
but-
quite small. Although, what the whole thing about the black box? That it turned out it wasn't the black box, didn't it? Like the whole thing about the black box being.
That sentence made little to no sense.
Well-
the whole thing about the black box turned out it wasn't the black box, didn't it?
Grammar.
Yes. Yeah.
Does he?
I don't know.
But like no,
Perhaps they'll find out the Malaysian Airlines flights thing. I don't know. We're getting up to 58 minutes here on the podcast.
that's good. But there was a chart when the whole Malaysia Airlines thing came off. No, it was when they discovered the black box ping, and like they released this chart
Yeah.
of like where the plane should have been flying, and then the sea level, and then going down to like the seabed, and they passed like the lowest depth a man-made submarine could go, and then they passed the shipwreck of the Titanic, and then it was like right at the bottom.
So what I would take from that is that the black box has fallen into the sea.
No, I know, but I thought there was something like it could just not be the black box, like it could be anything. Well, not anything, but
I guess it could be.
yeah. Well, we really
Anywho.
covered that story well.
I know. We've blown that one wide.
Have they
open.
found it? No. Why not?
No, they haven't. Perhaps by the next podcast they will have, but we should probably try and round off the podcast here. We're coming up
Well-
to an hour, so.
Why don't we go looking for it?
Okay. Yeah, we'll go look for the black box. If we find it, we'll report back next podcast. And let you know.
Podcast 3. We found it.
Yeah. And just like, we can't speak over the rounds of applause for people who are like, yay!
Well,
And we came back with 20 Malaysians.
have you got a jingle for the bridge between the news and weather and just the end of it?
No, I literally just played the intro podcast again. The intro podcast, the intro jingle.
Well, you can't do that because shouldn't you do that at the end? No, I mean, is there not? Have you not got a jingle to bridge the gap between news and just us rounding it off as a sign off?
No, I don't.
Well, let's make one.
I don't.
Okay.
Rounding out the podcast.
Okay, so that was the podcast.
Anywho, yeah, that was good. It was nice to have someone else to chat.
I'm actually surprised we managed to do it for an hour.
I know. You'd be surprised how time flies when you're
Spraffing shit.
podcasting. Yeah, talking shite. I could talk shite for Britain.
Well,
Why don't you? I'm just running out like, I'm doing this for Britain.
this is fun.
Yeah, I love my people. Right. Anywho, let's round it off. It was a pleasure.
So who's on next
Uh,
week?
I don't know.
Now this is
We'll take
a weekly thing.
This was 2 days after the initial podcast. I think the podcast is just kind of. This has been a week of trial.
Is there
going
going to be like an
what
actual
works.
time for it? You're just going to upload one when you feel like it.
Nah, I'm just gonna upload them when I feel
it's
like it.
available. But then that won't really get listeners because listeners want something that's like every week you'll get a new podcast.
Okay, well let's at the moment let's say we'll do one every week, and then if that falls behind, then we could change it. But I can realistically see us doing one every week.
Yeah.
I certainly have an hour. I certainly have an hour an hour to kill every week, and I'd rather spend that podcasting than just sitting about my arse doing nothing. Aye. Anywho, it's been a pleasure. This was we didn't think of a name for the podcast.
Yes, we did.
Vevers love Vevers.
Press. Vevers. Ooh. Yeah, Vevers assemble.
We can't call that. I'd say we just call it the Vevers
family
Podcast
ties.
just now. Ties.
Family
Okay, well, let's just call it.
Family
let's just
matters. Family matters. Family matters. It can mean two things.
Okay.
Family matters.
Family Matters. Okay, let's call it Family Matters.
That's really, really not.
Where
Let's
where
not
we
call it
discuss
Family
Family
Matters.
Matters and Family Matters. Okay, I like that.
We're not calling it Family
For week
Matters.
For week 2, the podcast is Family Matters, where we discuss Family Matters and Family Matters. Family Matters.
Matters.
And I'll make a nice sort of Jerry Springer type jingle, like a bongo bongo bongo.
Please don't call the podcast Family Matters. That's the
Okay,
word.
well, let's call it Tom and Joe
No, because
in the hour-long show.
damn it, that's good. But there might be more
Okay.
than just us.
Yeah, well, there isn't this week though. So this week we can call it Tom and Joe in the hour-long show.
Yeah, we can't have a different name every week.
Well, we can try.
Just call it Fever. Whatever, we'll decide later.
Okay, it's been a pleasure.
A pleasure.
Speak to you next week.
I maybe will too.
Burguy.
What?
I tried to say goodbye. I said burguy.
Yeah, thanks for listening, people. Good night, children. Let's just steal sign-off quotes from other people.
Yeah, okay.
From everyone here at Vevers Express, Family
Fuck you,
Matters.
San Diego. Okay, we really have to go now. This is dragging out now.
We all change. When you think about it, we're all different beanpoles all through our lives. And that's okay. That's good.
Okay, can we
gotta
please end it
keep
here? You're not
moving.
doing this. You're not doing this.
I prepared
you're
this
not
whole
doing the entire Doctor
Let me
Who
get my
monologue.
coat.
Right. We'll round it off here at an hour 4 minutes. That seems like a good time. So, this has been Tom Vevers and Joe Vevers on the Brothers Grimm podcast.
Ooh!
Ooh! Podcast name! Anywho,
Brothers, let's roll with that.
let's do it.
Brothers! Blues Brothers! No, that's done.
Let's
That's
do
done.
Let's do the Mrs. Doubtfire goodbye. Ta-ta!
What?
I'm gonna go take my bodysuit off now. Anywho, we really have to go, Joe. We're
Broadcast!
Stop just yelling things. Right, this was the Brothers Grimm Brocast Vevers of the Revolution. Doubtfire ta-ta.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye. I like Brocast, actually. Although bro's almost like a copyrighted claim thing now, because it's like PewDiePie. No, it's not.